Hey, welcome to 24 Chambers of Film. Today I got a movie review for the new Leigh Whannell film, Wolfman, distributed and produced by Blumhouse. So yeah, this is the new Universal monster film. Leigh Whannell did the other one, The Invisible Man, which I thought was really awesome. And so now he's doing The Wolfman. Originally, this movie was supposed to be directed by Derek Ciafrance, who did Place Beyond the Pines, and it was supposed to star Ryan Gosling, but that ended up falling through, and Leigh Whannell came in for the save. Leigh Whannell came in for the save, and yeah, the rest is history. And the Wolfman, he's one of my favorite Universal monster characters. I mean, the idea of just transforming into an animal has always been very fascinating to me. There's been a lot of good werewolf movies throughout the year, in my opinion. And where does this one stand? I think this one, it's up there. It's not like, would it be top five? Maybe. I'm not sure. I need to let it sink in more. Years need to go by before I make that final statement. But it's definitely on the better side of werewolf films. Is it perfect? No. I do feel like, even though I enjoyed the film, I thought it was very well directed, especially like it's just a very well crafted film, storytelling wise, filmmaking wise. It's almost a little too neat in that aspect. You know what I mean? It's a little bit like it's just too textbook. And the flaw about that is that it becomes predictable at times, or the way they're telling the story. And when something is revealed later on in the movie, you're kind of like, that's that. Of course, what else was it going to be? It was pretty obvious that it was going to be that. So, but it kind of like, I feel like unless you're very cinema illiterate, you won't, that reveal later on will be surprising. But I think the majority of people are savvy enough, and they'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, I figured that's what it was going to be. I think the majority of people will kind of, once the reveal comes, they'll be like, oh yeah, that's kind of what I thought it was going to be. But yeah, I mean, nonetheless, overall, it was a positive experience for me. I really dug it. Had great sound, the movie. I'm a big Leigh Whannell fan. I've always been a fan of his. He wrote the original Saw, and I think the first three he wrote, and I love Upgrade. I did like his first directorial film was the Insidious. I think it was Last Key or something like that, if I'm correct, which was fine, but he really showed his promise with his second directorial debut film, which was Upgrade. And I thought was pretty badass. It really showed that he, first of all, likes practical effects, which is always good because he likes to deal in those type of subgenres or genres that deal with violence. And Upgrade has very great action set pieces in there. And then he did The Invisible Man, for Blumhouse. I think Upgrade was also Blumhouse, but he did Invisible Man, and that obviously was the start of their Universal monsters, their interpretation of the Universal monsters. And he did a very ingenious thing with Invisible Man. I thought very clever film, very well put together, great performances all around. Elizabeth Moss was phenomenal in it. Everybody was just great in it. I thought very surprising elements that I was not expecting. It's definitely one of the best. Maybe it's up there. Maybe it's easily top two, I would say, or top three of like films that deal with, Invisible Man or someone who's transparent. Yeah, it was really well done. So I was really looking forward to the Wolfman. So I feel like he overall delivered, but it didn't reach the heights of Invisible Man. I felt like there was a missing ingredient, and I feel like there was the opening scene of this film is great. I think it could have been longer and shown another scene that's kind of like alluded to, that's connected to the reveal of the film. I would have liked to see that play out, but you never get that scene. So that was disappointing. Christopher Abbott as the Wolfman, he's the best part of this movie when it comes to performance-wise. He really nails it. He was great. He's one of my favorite contemporary actors. He's always been great. He's really great in It Comes at Night. Anything that I've seen him in, he's been really strong, and he just always delivers. He's just a fascinating actor. He really knows how to emote. And to me, I feel like he's not as big as he should be. I think he's just like one role away from really just like blowing up and everybody knowing him. But I feel like everyone should. He's a phenomenal actor. One of my favorites for sure currently. And then we got, everybody else is, it's a small cast, like of like the main actors is very, very minimal cast. Julie Garner plays Christopher Abbott's wife, and Matilda Firth plays his daughter, which she was great. Kid actors are hot and cold sometimes. You don't even, it's always like they're usually the weakest part when it comes to acting, but she really delivered. She was really well, really gave a really strong performance, in my opinion. Julia Garner, she's a really good actor, but there's just actors that don't connect with you, and she's one of them for me. I've seen her in that's Ozark's the first thing I saw her in, and she never really connected with me. That's a me thing, but she is a good actor for sure. I would have preferred maybe somebody else in that role, and it would have been I would have been able to be more drawn into it because her character is interesting in the movie. But yeah, just everybody has those actors that they just cannot like connect with. You see them in a movie, and you're like, man, they're never going to be the draw for me. Definitely the draw was Leigh Whannell, and then obviously Christopher Abbott being involved is a big thing for me. But yeah, she was good. She knows how to act. No issues with her acting ability, but just something about her. I can't really put my finger on it. But yeah, great stunt work in this movie. The movie's very suspenseful. The movie. I guess is a minor spoiler, but the movie essentially once they arrive, Christopher Abbott basically. His dad's been missing, and he finally gets the letters that he's officially declared deceased. So he has to go to where his dad lives, where he grew up, which was in the woodsy area, hunter mentality, that type of environment, that he left because him and his dad never really clicked. He loved his dad, but his dad kind of was very intimidating and was just kind of very stern on him. So him and his family go to, get his things and clear that out and kind of clean up stuff and take it, do what they need to do with his dad's stuff. Going there, once they go there and then they have an encounter with a wolf man, the movies takes place in the course of one long night. The transformation, everything to Christopher Abbott, all that happens in one night, which I was not really expecting because I don't remember. I guess I've only seen the trailer maybe like twice. And I guess I didn't really like pick up on that. Oh, this is going to be like a one movie that takes place in the course of one long night, which I really liked. I thought that was a cool take. I like that approach. The Wolfman element in it is very cool. They really go into his psychology as he's transforming. It's a gradual but steady transformation that obviously is completed throughout essentially the whole night of the film. And it's done very well. Like when you see what he's experiencing as he's changing, yeah, I'd be killing motherfuckers too. If I was seeing that, it's like a bad acid trip, very creepy, and you feel for Christopher Abbott because he has the chemistry between him and his daughter is very good, very good. You really like connect with them, and they have a very natural chemistry that really like tugs at you. And that's kind of like the I feel like the emotional driving force of the film. His chemistry with his wife, with Julia Garner, isn't bad. It's just like I said, and also they're on the rocks when you meet them, so like there's a disconnect between them. So again, I think if a different actor would have been casted, for me personally, it probably would have worked better, their relationship. But the kid with Matilda Firth, she was phenomenal, and Chris Abbott's chemistry was really great. Yeah, so the film, once it picks up and it doesn't let go, it's a very suspenseful. The Wolfman's very creepy. I think Leigh Whannell does a great job at keeping him like hidden, showing enough, not like hiding him completely, but he's obscured throughout like most of the movie until you start getting into the middle and on. Then you're like, oh shit, okay. And then the way they show him in the film, very great, like shot selection to show the Wolfman, especially the first time you see him through a sniper scope, which was creepy but just like perfect, just a perfect way to show him without showing it too much. And like I said, the practical effects is the look of the Wolfman. I think that's someone maybe people may have issues with. I thought it was a cool take on him. He very humanoid, but also very, like monstrous as well. So I would say he's not as hairy as probably people would expect. He does have hair, but there's two Wolfman. One of them is hairier than the other one because one of them is still going through his transformation. But yeah, it's a lot more skin is shown of the Wolfman than I was expecting, but I didn't mind. I like the take overall. And even with the lore of the Wolfman, I thought was very interesting and very well done. It starts off with like a little lore text, and it was got me intrigued. I wish we would have gotten more of the lore because it's definitely different from what the Universal Wolfman is. The whole silver and all that stuff is kind of alluded to. Maybe I have to rewatch it, but none of that stuff is like kind of like you need to shoot him with silver, all this shit, or there's definitely a big thing that happens in in most werewolf movies that isn't in this movie. Like, there's a permanent thing with the Wolfman when you turn into a Wolfman that's not in the other Wolfman films. So I thought that was cool. Yeah, I mean, the action sequences were very, very well done. It was a very solid, almost simply told film, but very well executed by the filmmaking by Leigh Whannell and his crew. They did a great job. The music was good, but like I said, it just was missing like it was missing like an ingredient. I think it really was this one. I feel like if they would have elongated the opening scene and added a certain scene, for me personally, I think it would have really taken this movie to being even better than what it was. Like I said, it's not a bad movie at all, but it wasn't better than Invisible Man, in my opinion. Maybe over time, after I watch it, because that middle part to the end is very good, very suspenseful, and like I said, it really moves, has a really great pacing, in my opinion. So I do recommend it. I highly recommend it to go check it out. I think it's a good time at the movies. And yeah, if you're not watching it for the new stuff coming out in January, this is definitely the one to watch. I know a lot of like the award films that came last year are going to be in the theater as well. So if you're not checking those out, definitely check out The Wolfman. My rating would be a 7.8 out of 10. Like I said, it's a very strong, very good film. But like I said, there's something like missing that's taking it to the next level, in my opinion, especially for like a Wolfman film. So very well done by Leigh Whannell. I think he's got a very good track record, and I can't wait to see what he does next. I hope he kind of goes back to doing something original for his next film, in a sense, like not based on IP or another, anything else, like a source material or nothing. I want him to do like what he did with Upgrade, because I still think that's his best film that he's directed. So I really want to see him do something, original again, because I think he's a really great writer, one of my favorites. And yeah, I'll be there day one, most likely, for his next film that he does. And I hope Wolfman makes a lot of money so he can do something even more operatic or something like that for his next feature film. But yeah, 7.8 for me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments if you liked it. What do you guys thought of how they handled the Wolfman lore, the look of the Wolfman? Did you like it more than Invisible Man, which he also directed, Leigh Whannell? So let me know. This is 24 Chambers of Film. Please like the video, subscribe, and stay tuned. 2025, we plan to have a lot of great content, so stay tuned.